Welcome, everyone, to ITD Gaming Appetizers. On tonight's episode, we have special guest, Exhibit. He's going to join us because he heard that you liked ads in video games. So he put ads in your video games so you can get see ads while you're gaming. But not really. We couldn't afford Exhibit even if we wanted to. So recent things brought to light is that Microsoft is in development of creating a private marketplace where they can sell in-game ads in free-to-play games on Xbox. And as if Microsoft and Sony were sitting in the same meeting room, they came up with the same idea because supposedly Sony is doing the same exact thing. They're working on their own program for at least 18 months, they said. They got to make sure it was longer than Microsoft. We've been working on this for 18 months to put ads in mostly free-to-play games. I swear these guys share the same bathroom boardroom. Microsoft and Sony execs are in the bathroom playing footsies together and go, I got a great idea. You know, let's put ads in game. So while you're playing a game, we're going to put that billboard of selling Doritos and Coke and Mellow Yellow and Mountain Dew and everything else, you know. Syphil and Ollie would be proud of the buy my crap generation that kids are in nowadays. I don't know what to think about this. I'll be honest. I don't notice. I do sometimes notice real world products placed in video games. As long as, you know, I do sometimes notice it. But for the most part, I don't notice it. Like playing a game and there's like a crap of stuff sitting on a shelf. I don't pay attention that much. Right. It's background noise for me. But to what extent are they going to do this? They're just going to put a billboard in a game and you're going to walk up and see a billboard advertising for, I have no clue, a billboard for Reliable Chevrolet or something like that. You know, you're going to be playing, GTA 6 and you're going to see an advertisement for joining the Army. America's Army is recruiting. Go to this website now and sign up now for your sign-on bonus, a billboard. This happens. This has happened in the past where advertisements have been in video games, and I don't know how I feel about it. To be honest, I don't care. It just depends on how in your face it's going to be, in my opinion. The metaverse is already here. That's one giant freaking advertisement, if you will, because there is nothing that is going to be game worthy of the metaverse because it's just going to be one giant advertisement in your face. Nick, what do you think about video games and advertisements in video games? What are your thoughts on that? Do you care? What is your thoughts, man?
Well, I mean, it's been around before. We've seen it before in older games. They used to have like the old Pepsi billboards and, you know, car billboards and various things like that. Sports games typically have it quite often. You know, you'll see like Adidas and Nike ads and stuff like that. And I agree. I really don't care if they have real world ads there, like billboards and stuff like that, or like product placements such as like a, you know, what Death Stranding had it with Monster, right? I mean, whenever you went back to your, when you're Normus Reedus and you went back to your home, you could drink a Monster, right? So they had in-place advertisements. So it's always been around, but yeah, I agree. How much of it in your face is it going to be, right? I mean, I feel like eventually they're going to get to the point where like Facebook and various other things in Google is where when you search for something, that's going to show up in your, you know, when you do it now, that shows up in your Facebook advertisements or your Google searches and stuff like that. I mean, it only takes one time to search for something, right? And I hate that the most. Like, I'm not interested in this. I'm just curious about it. So I look it up and then all of a sudden I have 20 ads about it. And I'm like, I don't care. And I don't want games to get to that. I don't mind if they have a product placement in games like a company like Nike or Mountain Dew or Pepsi or something like that pays to have billboards put up in a game. I don't really mind that, or product placement such as like a Coke can or something like that in the game. It's whenever I'm playing a game and now I looked up the Kardashians and now the Kardashians are on the photo frame or something like that, you know, like watch their new episode. I'm like, I didn't mean to, I looked it up once and I don't want to see it. It's when it gets in your face. That's when the problem happens, right? And I think that's when you're going to have the most pushback. Right now, they're starting with free to play. So sure, that's understandable, right? It's a free to play, so you can't really moan and gripe that much about product placement being in your free to play games. It's when it extends to your paid for games that I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of problems with. And exactly what Patrick said, it depends on how much in your face it is, right? Like I said, in Death Stranding, they have the monsters, the monster drink. That's fine, right? If Norman Reedus wants to drink a monster, cool, that's fine. I mean, it's his product placement, but I don't care. Drink a Monster, drink a Pepsi, drink a Rockstar, right? I don't give a crap. But it just depends on how much in your face it's going to be, and how, I don't want to get to the point where I play a game and during the loading screens is an ad, right? Or it stops the game, much like mobile games, or are they going to do this with free to play even, where it stops your gameplay to show you an advertisement, right? That's going to be more intrusive, and that's going to be more of a problem. If they just have it up on a billboard or some sort of product placement thing, that's fine with me. But if we're stopping the game to show you an ad, kind of like the mobile games do, like the free to play mobile games do and stuff like that, I even have a problem with that. I'm not anywhere close to a mobile gamer, but I hate that. I hate playing a mobile game that's free and then all of a sudden it stops for me to look at an ad. And for a free to play console game, I would hate the same thing, right? Have your product placement, and that's not a problem, but don't include it in, don't interrupt my gameplay to show me an ad for, Reeboks or insoles or something. What do you think, Shane?
Oh, hi. I'm not advertising. I don't know how to feel about it either. I do know if they start putting advertisements in games that are not free to play, the freaking price has to come down. If they don't lower the price, they don't get to advertise. It's plain and simple. They want to put Pepsi products and say Halo. Fine. Halo should be $50 now because Pepsi is going to pay that other $10 worth per game. That's the way I see it.
I say cheaper than that.
I say free, be honest. Screw them. I could play with a sleep comfort mattress ad, running in the background or something. I don't give a crap. But it all does come down to how it's done. Sports games are easy. You have the billboards and things like that. And, you expect advertisements in a sports game. So let's say a game like Halo, for instance. You're in the middle of a match. Nick's right. If they freaking stop the match, pause it, whatever, just to run an advertisement by, somebody's getting smacked. If they run the little streamer on the bottom there, somebody's getting smacked. The stuff should not interrupt gameplay, period. That should be a kernel. And another thing is they cannot use those to increase the load time space. They're going to start in your game here at this level, do the load screen. They're going to add an extra 20 seconds. So you have to look at Geico Lizard's ass. No, that's ridiculous. It's all about placement and how it's done. Now a cool way to do it would be, say you're playing Halo, you get a Killtacular. And then at the end of the match, they can show your replay of Killtacular. This Killtacular was brought to you by Depends. Something like that would be great. I mean, come on, that would be funny as hell to have. That would be awesome. But it's all about product placement. They have to be able to put it in a place that's visible. But I don't want to be playing Final Fantasy 7 remaster and here I am trying to kill Sephiroth and freaking Viagra banner comes scrolling across here. It's just it's stupid. If they don't do it right, they're going to just make the games worse and people are going to just not buy games. It's sad. When you turn on your Xbox or PlayStation, I haven't seen it on Nintendo yet. You see ads on them now. You see ads at the home screens. So I'm not bothered by it, but I don't really like it, but I don't really care either because it's not intrusive into my game playing experience. That's what they got to make sure of. No matter what they do, that Depends commercial comes on, it better be freaking not screwing up my game, period. And, Resident Evil, something jumps out and scares the shit out of you. Depends commercial comes on. Perfect timing. That works. But that's just me. I don't know. It's a weird subject because I don't know how to express it because I don't like commercials. If I'm watching Hulu and the commercial comes on, I grab my phone. So if I see a commercial thing pop up in the middle of my game, I'm going to grab my phone and I'm going to forget about the game for 30 minutes and I'm dead 15 times. So I don't know. I don't know how to handle it, but it all depends on placement and they better lower my freaking costs. So there we go.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the Depends would be great, right? The Killtacular Depends commercial pops up. Depends for those long gaming sessions. We know you're already wearing them. So
that's right. That's right.
I kind of feel I didn't even think about it for some reason until Nick just pointed out, but that marketing people have a tendency of doing exactly what Nick said, that they start off slightly, right? They just start off with slightly doing something, and then it just becomes more and more and more in your face. Like from what I read, they're not going to put banners on the game or anything like that currently. It's all going to be like a billboard. And I saw Sony had said something about, we're going to give it to where you can get a free in-game skin if you watch this billboard for so long, stuff like stupid crap like that. But think back to like YouTube's early days. They had advertisements, but it was after you watched like 3 or 4 different videos. And as time went on, the number of videos you got to watch before an ad popped up slowly went down. And now you get 3 advertisements in like a 5-minute long video on YouTube anymore. And so it's to the point to where I hate it, to be honest with you. I absolutely loathe it. Like if I've gotten to the point now, if I'm watching a YouTube video and an ad pops up, I close it and go to the next one. I don't watch it. I hate YouTube's advertisement policy because that is the worst thing ever. And that's how I feel video games might get, right? Even if it's a free to play game, I damn sure don't want my game interrupted for an advertisement. Because the way that they're making their money now is then they've just changed to a different revenue stream, right? Free to play games revenue stream has technically usually been their microtransaction market. That's their revenue stream. So now they're going to say our revenue stream is microtransactions and advertisements. And eventually it'll be microtransactions, in-game advertisements, and something additional. And before long, we're going to have 6 different revenue streams built into a game for a company. And so that's how the world is going. They hook you in the early days, because I used to watch a lot of YouTube when I was younger, when YouTube was in its infancy. And the same thing with like Facebook videos and stuff like that. But anymore, I can't stomach some of them because they're just way too many interruptions. Like it seems like every 2 minutes in a YouTube video, an ad is there. So you can't even watch a whole video without viewing an ad. And that stuff just gets to me. It gets on my nerves that you're watching. Even if you're watching like a music video or something and there's an advertisement like a few seconds in or almost to the end, you got like 45 seconds left in that video and there's an ad. You're like, I really wanted to see what happened. And that's their algorithm. Hook you with the video to where you don't want to leave. So you have to finish the video, the advertisement. That's what drives some of these other companies to prevent like ad injections. There's plenty of browser plugins and things that prevent ad injections into videos. And it's these pervasive algorithms that companies like YouTube and others use to monetize. They basically are saying, you're going to get so much of this video before we inject an ad. And some of it can be content creator related, right? Like if they're like, I don't care, monetize the hell out of my video. As long as I get money, I don't care how many ads. My video is 2 minutes long. You can put 3 ads in there. I don't care. I don't get it, but I get it. I just don't want to see that happen in video games. I don't want a video game like Halo to become the next ad revenue stream. If I'm paying you $70, I don't care if I'm paying you $20 or $10. I don't want an ad banner in my game ever. And by that, I mean by that is that something pops up and scrolls across my screen. I'm all for the funny story games that advertise a fake product because it's funny. I don't want Pepsi or Tide or any of these other name brands, advertising in my video. I don't want to see a Pepsi commercial pop up in the bottom right-hand corner of my video, or a video for Nuprin, little yellow different Nuprin. I don't want to see any of that pop up into my videos ever, my games, just because it interrupts the immersion of video games, right? Video games are all about an immersion, to immerse yourself in the story and everything like that, So I'm with you guys there. I just feel that if we let them dip their pinky toes in, next thing we know, they're going to be in full body with the entire marketing team behind them. They dip that pinky toe in, we let them in, and now the 200 person marketing team is in the pool. So I feel that that's what'll happen. And gamers. I feel that we are a really good mix of gamers, that we're all kind of an average of what gamers are. Nick is a really heavy gamer compared to Shane and I. He plays a lot more than we do. And we probably I would say Shane and I play probably more than the average gamer, but we're a little complacent here, right? We're like, I don't know how to feel about this. I don't think I care as long as there's this little bit of advertisement, but a little bit becomes more and more and more and more and more until the point to where it's saturated. And we allowed this to happen as gamers. So thinking of it that way, I'm against this because I think that it's just going to open the floodgates for future items, even in free-to-play games. Companies are always going to find a way to inject a new revenue stream into their product, right? I mean, I can't lie. If I owned a company, I want to add revenue streams to my company. I don't want all my eggs in one basket. I want a revenue from here, and I'll take a little revenue from there. I want to diversify my business so that I can make sure that I am somewhat future-proofing my business and protecting my revenue stream. So if one revenue stream starts to wane, maybe I can increase one of these other revenue streams, or that revenue stream is completely going away because of a change in the market. I've got others to absorb that a little bit. I'm not losing 100% of my revenue. I'm losing a percentage depending on how many different streams I have. So I really was on the fence about this the more we started talking about it. And Nick just basically popped that thought in my head. And I'm like, you know what? We give these guys the pinky toe, they're going to take the entire freaking swimming pool away from us.
Yeah. And it makes it worse is, like you were just saying, where does it stop? If the revenue builds in video games, where else are they going to do? They're going to put it in movies now. I mean, they already show product placements in movies. Then they're going to just start showing freaking commercials in the middle of the movies. And it's just disgusting and ridiculous, especially on the end where we're actually paying to watch movie, to play game. If we are paying, they don't need to be interrupting. Plain and simple.
Well, you already pay, right? For television, unless
Yes.
you're getting television over the air, which is only a select few channels, you pay. They're getting two revenue streams, right? The broadcast company is charging you, and then they're sending a cut back to the channels, to the holding companies of the channels, and then the channels are throwing ads in there, so they're also getting revenue from that. So they have multiple revenue streams. That's how it starts, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at Hulu. Hulu has multiple packages. I have the combo, the cheap combo with the Disney Plus, and I get freaking ads in my goddamn Hulu. It pisses me off. Even if I'm watching a movie, I still get an ad. I do not like that. I only have Hulu because I like certain older shows, and there's shows that I missed. I mean, I never saw that show Lost, so I watched it. And I don't want advertisements because I'm giving you my money already. If you need more money, then you need to better adjust your business practices because you're already getting plenty from me. Netflix years back was talking about adding advertisements, and that didn't go over well. And as you know, they didn't do it. I mean, they're still pissing away their business right now. But when you pay for a product, the last thing you should be getting is a forced commercial, a forced advertisement of any kind shoved in your face. If that product uses the amount of money that they're getting from the advertisement to lower the cost of the consumer, that's one thing, but only to a point. Because like I said, It's all about placement. It's all about the effect of it. Grand Theft Auto. You listen to the radio when you drive. Play all the freaking commercials you want. If you have a commercial channel, don't care. That's great for you. I can change the channel. I can mute it. I can listen to my own music, whatever. You're at your crib in GTA. Turn on your TV, and there's an ad. Fine, big deal, whatever. That's okay. But if you're playing a game and it's interruptive in any way, then, that's it. I'm done with it. How do you do that in certain games though? Say Final Fantasy or a medieval game, for instance. What kind of advertising are you going to do in there? Iron depends. Really. How does that work? So it's something they better very, very tread lightly, because it's going to piss a lot of people off when they do it wrong, and they will, because they're companies and they want money.
So Nick, are you ready for that? You ready for some ads in games? You think you lit the fuse on that one? Because I wasn't even thinking about getting more and more pervasive, but it will happen.
Oh yeah,
you can't just take a little piece.
No, nope. It will. It will become more and more prevalent. And yeah, you just gotta. It's really hard to do. NFTs. There's various other things that are trying to take over this market share, such as NFTs and all that crap that Ubisoft and all these other companies are trying to put into place. And now we're going down the line of in-game advertisements, which we've had before. But yes, I think Microsoft and PlayStation are not really looking at just adding those back, because I think those have always been there. I think they're trying to be more intrusive with those things. And we as gamers have to kind of push back on that and say, no, if you start doing this, say goodbye to your revenue, right? You might have those advertisements, but you're not going to get any money from us. But we as a collective, not just us three here, we as a collective, as the gamers out there, we have to push back on this. If we don't, because we're bad about that, right? As a collective, we're bad about that. DLCs, we were all against, but no one pushed back hard enough. And NFTs, we've been really good at, right? They haven't, they keep trying, but they haven't broken
unless you're
that
Square Enix.
They keep trying. They just haven't broken that NFT wall. We've put up as gamers. But you start, this advertisement route, we've got to put up that wall and say, no, we don't want this. Otherwise, it's going to push it through and it's going to become more invasive and it's going to become a problem. And when it becomes more mainstream, like DLC was, then it becomes the norm. And when it becomes the norm, then you have your problem, like DLC, right? We still, even though we buy DLC occasionally here and there and stuff like that, I think all of us agree that we still hate the concept of DLC. And we still don't like DLC as what it is today, right? We remember back in the day when they had expansions or they added to the game or a game was complete, and not like today where they just half-ass a game and then sell you the rest of it as DLC, as piecemeal it, right? And that's what it's going to get to with advertisements. You want the rest of the game, watch this, series of ads and pay this amount of money, right? It'll get bad, but we as gamers have to stop it where it's at. Otherwise, it will go out of control.
Yep. And it saddens me to think where the gaming industry is going, because every week it's like there's somebody's got a brain fart ideal and they're trying to ruin what we all love. Trying to make that extra buck.
COVID struck and video games were already popular, but they blew up even more because people were stuck at home. And now all these companies are like, how can I put my hands in that cookie jar? And that's what we're coming up with. And I'm kind of glad, I hate for anybody to lose any money, but I'm kind of glad to see NFTs are kind of falling on their face. We just had the news about the guy who bought the very first Twitter tweet NFT, bought it for like buku millions of dollars and got like a couple of $100 offer on it when he tried to sell it. And I'm like, that's what you get, dumbass. No, nobody wants this crap.
Nope. Eat a big turd sandwich.
Yeah.
Take a picture, sell it.
Yeah, exactly. it's a revenue stream that has no place in video games. If you want to do NFTs, fine, whatever. Take it into the NFT sphere. Leave me alone. I don't care. If it turns out to be one of those things where, where I just didn't get it in the bottom floor and whatever, I'm fine with missing out on that opportunity. So it is what it is on that front, but I don't want them in my video game. Just like I don't want blockchains in my video games. I don't want advertisements in my video games. I want my video game in my video game and nothing else to help ruin the immersion of that game. So keep your hands out of the cookie jar. I know you want more money, but you're getting enough. If you, everybody has seen the explosion in revenue for video games out there. Video game revenue is in the billions of dollars every year. And we're talking like hundreds of billions of dollars. So get your hands out of the cookie jar. We don't want your ads. I don't care if it's a free-to-play game because you're just going to take advantage of us after you get your hands in. You get that one little pinky toe dipped in the pool. Next thing we know, we're screwed, and there's advertisements all over the damn place in the game. So I'm against it now. I don't want it. So no more ads in my video games. Get your product placements out. No. Because what's bad about this is, right, Microsoft and Sony are talking about putting ads in games as like a billboard or something like that, where companies can pay to have ads in the game for a certain amount of time. So 1 month you may see a Coke ad. The next month you may see a Pepsi ad. You may see Tide. You may see a Logitech ad. You may see their own company's advertisements in the game because nobody decided to buy ad revenue that week. Playing a Sony
I want to
game,
see Sony
SOE.
sponsor an ad in Microsoft games and vice versa.
There you go. And vice versa.
Freaking awesome.
Playing a PlayStation game and you see a Microsoft ad for Microsoft Game Studios.
Yep.
And they're
Running through his
going to whore that stuff out. That's the thing.
They will.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Big dirty horse. Every
All
game
right.
on it.
Well, this has turned into one giant advertisement. Anybody else want to? I think we've mentioned about every company out there that's big enough to hang billions. Anybody got any last words before we end this commercial?
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Limu emu. All right. Well, let us know what you think. What are your thoughts on this advertisement scheme by Microsoft and Sony for, selling ads in games? They're claiming they're not going to make any money on it, but that's just now. And if this revenue stream grows, that means they may decide to take a piece of the pie. What are your thoughts? Do you care that there's advertisements in games? Do you not care? Well, I think you should care, but let us know what you think about ads in video games. And don't forget, as always, make sure you like this video. If you're not subscribed to our channel already and you finished this video, seems like you really should be subscribed. And don't forget to hit that bell for notification because that tells you when we pump out new videos, and we pump out new videos many times a week. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope to catch you in the next one.
See ya.